In today's video, I want to talk about installing an Oracle database in your Homelab for free. I'm going to show you three different things. We're going to start out by installing it a simple way in a VirtualBox virtual machine on your local machine. Then I'm going to install it on Proxmox so you can see it running in another machine in my Homelab. And finally, I'm going to show you some examples of using the database remotely. Let's get started. So to begin with, I'm going to show how to install the VirtualBox appliance locally in VirtualBox. Pretty straightforward. You're just going to download the VirtualBox appliance right here. Click that, download, and it's going to take a couple minutes, 6 gigs. There we go. I'm finally done. Okay, now we will open up VirtualBox. Open that up. And we click Import. Import, we go to where we leave all the settings untouched. Agree to the end user license. And we're ready to go. We're going to change one thing. I want to be able to connect to this Oracle database from outside of the virtual machine, meaning I'm going to use the terminal on my Mac or Ubuntu box or something to be able to connect to it. So I want to make sure that the network is bridged and not a network that's only available within the VirtualBox environment. So we'll go to the network settings and we'll check bridged adapter and OK. Then we start. And there's nothing else to do. It's going to start up and it'll give us a full GUI. We'll get a browser. We'll get a couple of command windows or terminal windows. It's pretty neat. Oracle's done a nice thing in preparing this appliance for us. So we just plug it in, start it up, and we immediately have a database running. I'll make this a little bigger. And you will see they give you a little web page here which shows how to connect to the database from these command lines. It's all set up. You could do everything you want right now from inside this virtual machine. But I actually want to do a little bit more. So I'm going to find out what the IP address is. IP ADDR. And this is going to tell me I'm connected to 192.168.10.50. So I should be able to use SQL Plus from a command line. And I'm going to go SQL Plus and follow what we have written down in here, which is system oracle at. And I'm going to use not free. That's going to give you the container database. I want the pluggable database, free PDB1. So we're going to go SQL Plus at system. Oracle's the password at 192.168.10.50 port 1521 / free PDB1. And there we are. We're connected. Let's create a user. Create user Bozo identified by clown. And let's make sure the user can connect. Grant Bozo. Grant. I want to make some objects. Alter user Bozo. We want to make sure we have the right quota. On users. So we've created the user, we've granted connect, we've granted resource, and the user will be able to create data. So we're going to exit. Let's log in. SQL Plus, bozo/clown at 192.168.10.50, port 1521/free PDB1. And there we are. There we go, and we are Bozo. We don't have any tables now, but we can create data here. See if there's any data in all objects. There is. Create table my test. And we're good to go. We've got a database. We've connected as a new user, and we've created some data. So let's do this a different way. We want to install Oracle on Proxmox so that we have it running somewhere else. We're going to use the very same appliance that we downloaded, and this is just going to take a few extra steps. I'll show you the link in the description for the website where I went to find the details. And you kind of have to follow that website because there's some specific commands we're going to do on the Proxmox command line, but it's not rocket science. We'll get there. Let's get going. For starters, let's just log into Proxmox. We're going to create a virtual machine in Proxmox. Create VM. And it's going to be node 100 just by default. And we're going to call it Aura 23 free. Aura 23C free. We go next. We're going to say do not use any media. And we're going to leave the rest default. And then the system will leave everything as is. Go next. And then we're going to remove this disk. We don't need the one that already, the default one. And then we go next. We're going to add, we have 2 cores. I think Oracle only lets you use 2 cores on this database, so that's what we're going to do. Go next. Let's bump it up. I'm going to use 8192. Go next. Leave everything default. Go next. And confirm. We do not want to start it. We don't have a disk. We don't have anything. We're just going to click Finish. And you will see that we'll get a new virtual machine. It's called Aura 23C free, but it has no disks and it's not set up. So what we have to do is some work in the Proxmox command line. First thing we're going to do is get that file that we downloaded over to Proxmox. SCP. And we're going to send that to root at pve.home is my Proxmox server, TMP. It's going to ask me to log in. And we are cooking. So what we're doing right now is we're moving the appliance file, that OVA file we downloaded from the Oracle website. We're moving that from my Mac to the Proxmox server, which is a little box sitting in the other room. We're golden. Now we'll go to the Proxmox side, click on the Proxmox server itself, not data center or not one of the machines. We want to click on the Proxmox server, open up a shell, and then we start doing the magic. Go to temp, and we see, look at what we downloaded. There's our Oracle database file. We want to untar that. guess tab's not going to complete, so we're just going to do it this way. And you'll see that it contains these two disk files, disk 001, disk 002. There we go. And you see what we downloaded. Now let's take a look at the VMs we created. And we see we've got 100 is stopped. That's our VM that we want to use, that Aura 23C free. And we'll check our storage. I told you these commands are a little odd. And we have room on local LVM. And so that's what we're going to use. Now we're going to run a special command that's going to import these disks into the virtual machine. And here's the command. And you're going to do this twice. So I'm going to do this for disk 001, and you'll notice that it has the actual name from here. Further up the screen, Oracle Database 23.3, free developer disk001.vmdk. That's in this line with quotes around it. And you see what it's doing. Okay, now I up arrow to grab that last command. I'm going to change this to 002. And we get the same minute or so of wait. Done. That's all the work we need to do on the command line. Now we go into the virtual machine itself and make a couple of changes. Go into the hardware and we look at the disks, and you see this unused disk 0, unused disk 1. Just double click on them and click add. Double click the next one and click add. Now we're going to look in our options and we're going to check the boot order. Double click that. And you see we've got these new disks we put in there. We want to boot with SCSI 0. And let's uncheck everything else. So we're going to launch SCSI 0. Click OK. And now we're ready to go. We can actually start our virtual machine right now. Click Start. And I'm going to click Console, and we should see the very same thing that we saw when we ran this locally in VirtualBox. Check it out. This is running in Proxmox. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create I'm going to do the same thing we did on the other one. Let's first get the IP address, and that's going to be 192.168.10.196. So let's open up a local terminal window, and we're going to SQL Plus into that machine. So system/Oracle at 192.168.10.196, and it's port 1521 / free pluggable database 1. And we're in. So let's create user Scott, identified by Tiger, grant connect to Scott, grant resource to Scott, alter user Scott, quota unlimited on users. So we should be able to go, and let's connect to Scott. And we're going to here we go. I knew I had the script somewhere. And we've got emp and dept. Anybody who's worked with Oracle over the years knows what these tables are all about, knows what this user is. But I've created emp and dept on the Scott Tiger schema on a database on my Proxmox server. And we're ready to go. Let's do one more thing. It's kind of fun. Now we're going to do something a little bit different. I have both of the Oracle instances up and running. You'll see on the left, this is actually VirtualBox. You see from the menu at the top. That's a VirtualBox appliance running. And on the right, Proxmox. And so this is the virtual machine running within Proxmox on the little box that's sitting on a table in the other room. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the one that's running locally. And let's do create DB link. And I actually am going to make a database link. And let's do over on the right side, IP editor to get the address. 192.168.10.196. So we go 196. Great. Now we're going to connect to system/Oracle at 192.168.10.50, which is the local one, IP editor 10.50, port 1521 / free pdb1, and we're going to run that script. Now we've made a public database link, and we can even try it out. That's HRDB link. And there, we've actually communicated with this other database. So let me make another terminal here, and we're going to SQL Plus, and we'll do Scott Tiger at 192.168. And it's a different database. That was 192.168.10.196. 196. Port 1521 / okay. 132. Okay, so we're logged in as Scott there. On the left side, I'm going to exit and I'm going to log in as Bozo the Clown because I don't want to have special privileges. Okay. From emp at HRDB link. Great. 132. These are just so that the text formats nicely. Okay, and we can change something. So let's see if, let's give the clerk a raise. Update emp at HRDB link set sal equals 10,000 where we'll give all the clerks a raise. Job equals commit. Go over here. Now we're connected to the remote machine, and I'm just gonna I can't up arrow for some reason. We'll just do it this way. And there you see it. All the clerks have had a raise. So you can imagine all the cool stuff you can do with multiple Oracle databases and making updates over the wire, doing things where you're checking your transactions, where you commit on one side or you don't commit, and you have resource busy with no weight specified or things like that going on. Plenty of stuff you can do in your home lab without spending any money and without spending much effort at all. This is the download page for the VirtualBox appliance. Look, we see we've got right here, that's the link we want to use. And I will include these links in the description. This is how I installed SQL Plus on my Mac. I used Homebrew, which if you have a Mac, you know all about Homebrew. And really all you need to do is run these commands. That's it. Brew tap, instant client tap / instant client, brew install instant client basic, brew install instant client SQL Plus. And you're all done. All this other stuff you don't have to do. I'll include the link in the description. This is the page that has all the details about installing Oracle 23c Free Developer Edition in Proxmox. And these are the steps I followed in the video. I'll include this link in the description. One thing I'll point out is that when you untar the file, you get different file names from what the author here has. And so you'll notice in the demo I did, I had to actually copy it in there because Oracle puts like the word free or something in there. So you have to change the command. It's not going to be exactly like what he's got here. Just follow what I put in the video and you'll be good to go. And make sure to just copy the file name in quotes and you'll be okay. So there it is. It's really cool. You can use an Oracle database for free and learn all about it in your home lab. That's all I have for you today. Thank you for watching.